This episode of the Cotton Mafia podcast is sponsored by Stripper Saver / Picker Saver. Whether you have a CS, CP, 690, 770, or a 7760, they can cover your cotton harvesting equipment.
This system carries 200 gallons of Class A fire suppressing foam that covers the accumulator, baler, engine, and transmission. The system also features a 50-foot hose reel to access those hard-to-reach areas. Everything is deployed from in the cab. Easy-to-use control units with onboard temperature sensors. No getting out to assess the situation. Easy recharge and less downtime.
Yeah, I don't think I want to get outside the cab and assess the situation when I'm on fire.
No, assess later.
Yeah, it takes, what, about an hour to fill up?
If that, man. If you got water and foam, you're running within 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, the competition can take up to 6 weeks to fill up. I don't know why you'd run anything else. You can also avoid some high insurance claims or cancel policy. If you want one of these fire suppression systems, call 806-759-0649.
Also found on strippersaver.com.
And with that, welcome back to the podcast. Tyler and I are here with Conley Banman. He's a YouTube sensation out of West Texas and farms cotton and peanuts, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes, sir.
Pretty close. And then you're also farming out in actual West Texas.
Yeah.
A little bit of irrigated out there in the salt flats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When did you get started farming? That's kind of where I guess we'll start there.
Well, I guess the family farm has kind of been there for forever, really. It feels like all my life. So I just kind of went with my dad to the farm ever since I was a little kid. And after that, I was kind of always interested in it. I always really enjoyed being outside and stuff like that. So as soon as I was done being in school, then hopped out on the farm and started working full time and been there ever since.
Nothing wrong with that. And you also started a YouTube. When did you start the YouTube channel?
About 3 years ago, going on my 4th year right now.
Okay, so you're doing pretty good for a 4th-year channel, especially in today's world.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So I guess YouTube, but what made you just decide, I just want to go ahead and just try it?
Well, a big part was my brother. He could convince me completely to do it. At first, it was going to be me and him doing stuff together. And he came up with the idea. He was like, we'll be called Farmer Bros. And I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, sure. We'll go ahead and do it. And then he kind of like backed out of it and was like, yeah, you should still do it. So I was like, I guess I'll just give it a try, see what happens. Like, I kind of wanted to show other people my side of farming anyway. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I just started making a couple of YouTube videos. And
Did it just start off with like just basic video, just like your phone, or did you have a camera? Or did you start off with like using drones and trying to mix a bunch of different stuff?
Well, I guess there's a little bit of backstory to that. I had the YouTube channel for quite a bit longer, and I made drone videos, little clips that I posted on there, and I actually started like vlogging. That's when this all started, and I did that about a year before I finally got 100 subscribers. So it took a long time before I actually got anywhere.
Yeah. I started out a little easier than that. I've had a lot of people come from TikTok, and I think I started out at 400 or 500 without even posting a video. So
really?
I lucked out.
You got lucky.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
Did you ever just have that one video that just boom hit and went crazy, and it was just
the timing and the quality of that video and the timing that it came out, it was just perfect. Like it was just one random evening. Oh, we're digging peanuts. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go film something real quick because I love digging peanuts and it always looked good and green and everything.
right?
The sun was at the perfect angle. The lighting was perfect. Like you couldn't have asked for a better situation, and it just blew up. Everyone loved it. I tried recreating it last year. Didn't work as well.
Yeah. When did you wake up one day and go, YouTube is hard? Like everybody wants to be Instagram and TikTok famous and stuff. That's not that hard. YouTube, from what I've learned, that's where you have to work to get followers, and to get somebody to follow you on YouTube is almost like stealing their baby. Like it's hard.
Because you don't have to have an account to watch YouTube.
Right.
So really, I guess the only way you're getting subscribers on YouTube is if they actually make a full-on profile, correct?
Exactly, because they have to go through a lot more. They have to create the full account and then actually find your videos interesting. Like, yeah, I guess I'll subscribe to this guy.
And most people watch one video and they're like, I don't know about this guy, and they're not going to follow you.
Then most people are like, oh yeah, I'll just scroll around YouTube a little bit. Cool, watch a few videos, done. Never even think about subscribing or anything to continue watching more videos in the future.
Yeah. Are you monetized?
Yep.
So
Sure am.
Is that helping out on the farm at 26,000?
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's enough to pay for groceries.
Pay some groceries later. A little
Maybe a new camera every once in a while.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's what I tell my wife.
Yeah.
Or a new gun.
Yeah. What are you filming with right now?
GoPro, Hero 8.
Hero 8. Okay.
I wanted to get the new one, the 10th one.
It's awesome.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend the money just quite yet, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll wait till the end of the year. See what happens after that, and then maybe I'll get the new one.
It's worth every penny. Like
Is
they
it?
stepped their game up. Like from the 8 and 9 was no difference. The 10 is just night and day difference.
Yeah, that's one reason why I didn't upgrade to the 9 when I had the 8, because my first 8 it started being a little glitchy and weird. So I was like, oh, I'll get a new one. Like, oh, do I want the 9 or do I want to just stick with the 8? So I looked at it and it wasn't really much of a difference. So I was like, I already got the batteries and everything. Just stick with the 8.
I've got the Volta, which is like the GoPro's version of like a battery stick. There's also kind of a tripod, and it has like 45-degree angle, I think, of image stabilization. So you can turn the camera like 30 degrees and it'll stay perfectly horizontal.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's
So
impressive.
you can just run around with the camera and you don't even have to try. It looks good.
Like they don't have to see how you run across the field.
Yeah. It looks smooth. Like, because we put them on the helicopters and like I'll be editing. I'm like, this video clearly was the 10. Like you can just see night and day difference with it.
I might have to get me one then.
Yeah.
Are you going to have much to make a video later in harvest, or is it going to be pretty slim pickings for y'all?
Well, there'll still be
There'll
quite a
be
bit to make
quite a bit to
videos.
make it.
Yeah.
Good.
We still got lots of peanuts. We still got a little bit of cotton. Not much, but a little bit.
Are y'all playing the conventional peanut game too, or is it? Or I guess we had Ubri back in a few weeks ago, and he was talking. He was doing conventionals and just your. I guess they're not GMO, are they?
They're organics.
Organic. He was doing organic
Yeah.
conventional. Sorry, but
Yeah, no, we just do conventional.
just to conventional.
Yeah, we don't mess with that organic, the certificates and license and whatnot. That's a little too complicated,
Okay.
so we just forget about it.
Gotcha.
Did you see his video with the electric weed zapper?
I did, yeah.
3 or 4 million views, like
That thing was
instantly.
amazing.
And then everybody stole it and he got pissed.
Yeah,
It was all over the Instagram.
it was ridiculous. But I mean, it looked cool. Like I think the first video that he posted about it on TikTok, like the sound and everything would look, the beat drop and everything came perfect to when the lightning kind of hit or the electricity through the weed. Oh, it looks super cool. I loved it.
Yeah.
I wonder who invented it and how many times they got popped.
That's a good question.
That'll kill you. Like I think
Yeah.
it's like 30,000 volts. Or
It's
something.
ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm good. I don't.
I'm gonna pass. I don't
You
want-
better be almost a licensed electrician to run that.
Right. You have to be very careful.
Yeah.
I saw you have a VFD like I have. Do you have a VFD phase converter on one of your thing? I thought it looked like was it Friesen electricity?
Yep.
I had a little box in one of your videos. I have one of those, and that's who built Obre's.
Oh, really?
Obre's. That whole setup I think was built by them.
Really?
So those guys are like electric little wizards, I guess. I don't know.
I know they make a bunch of panel boxes.
Yeah. So they make their own panel boxes.
I think. I know they make a bunch of things. I don't know if they get all of it and then just rename it their own brand on there, or if they add their own things in there. That I don't know.
Well, on mine, it's a single phase to 3-phase converter. Then it runs through a voltage filter, and they added an HOA switch on it, so I can run it automatically
Oh,
from my phone. So yeah, I think they do build stuff.
they probably do then. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they built that with the transformers on there and everything, and I'm not running that thing. It's like death, or your tractor needing all new tires if you do something wrong.
Right. All of a sudden, your tire, all 4 tires are just on fire, and you're just rolling down the field.
So you're farming cotton, peanuts, and then you're also packing all of your equipment up and going west. What, 200-300 miles?
200 plus. Yep. Not quite 300.
And just saying, hey, we're gonna farm over here.
Yep.
It's a great idea.
If you'd see the water, you'd farm out there too.
I've seen it.
Is it always cotton out in that area? Do y'all have some rotations that y'all use?
Haven't really rotated
Yeah.
yet. We've been rotating different cotton varieties from like dicamba to 2,4-D varieties.
Right.
But we still, at the end of the year, we'll plant the wheat, throw that in for a cover for the next year.
Gotcha. And it's
So-
pretty well isolated out there.
Very isolated.
Very isolated.
You don't have to care about drift or nothing.
No.
We can do drift on a mountain or a rock.
Right. We're literally so isolated. Well, there's 2 fields now. The neighbor owns it. But before he did, it was just no one was farming it. There was mesquite trees everywhere, so it was abandoned. And only like 2-3 years ago, he picked it back up and reopened it up. But before that, you could 120 pounds of pressure in your boom, just spray wherever you wanted to, no drift, nothing.
Nobody's going to care about a mesquite tree
I mean,
out there.
They're not even trees. They're more like bushes. It
Bushes,
doesn't rain
shrubs.
enough.
Well, even that, like if you would see some of the drift going on to the corner, maybe 15, 20 feet off of the field, maybe there finally something died. But other than that,
Try that with some peanuts 3 miles away or something. Smoke them.
so you just think about drifting onto peanuts and, oh, they're fried.
Oh, they're fried. Yeah.
It's like I've got sunflowers, and that's my biggest fear is like somebody not caring, spraying dicamba up them in and just annihilating them. And they're going to be like, because around here that's a secondary crop, they're going to look at you and be like, what, you want $5 an acre, $10? You know, well, no big deal, man. It's just a secondary crop.
You know,
I can already see it now.
It's technically your primary crop this year.
you know.
I mean, it's the only one you're making an effort on.
I got some irrigated that just caught a hailstorm that I just gave up on. Did you see that picture I uploaded on Instagram? Beautiful field of cotton. Like, it's almost like I'm telling her it's going to go 4 bales, and she doesn't believe me, but it's going to go 3.5, somewhere in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, Chase, he's been on the podcast before.
Right.
You were just hanging out with him, and he calls me and goes, "Hey, man, you might want to come take a look at this pivot." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, mine across the street got annihilated." And I was like, "Oh, Mother Nature on these 2 pivots that I got right here. It's 4 years straight, just smoking me every year." And I literally was just like a week ago, I was like, Mother Nature might not freeze early this year. We're good. Now,
Mother Nature's on my side. Let's go.
somebody needs to take Mother Nature out on a date or something, man. She's been ornery lately. So, yeah, I lost probably 240 acres of probably average 3-bale crop. Just,
Wow.
I mean, it's probably going to still harvest, but it was all seed production, so no more seed production.
So you think you're still going to get a bale off of it? Or
I'll also get a lot. I'll get pounds off of it, and I've got a whole bunch of hail insurance, so it's really not a problem
Right.
money-wise, but it kind of
Sucks.
hurts your feelings when you
Right.
work all year for a really nice crop, and then Mother Nature just tells you not today.
like every year, I'd rather harvest like 2 bale an acre crop than harvest 1.5 bale an acre crop that could have been a 4 that got hailed out.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Well,
I'd rather harvest.
Why can't we just plan it? And then, like,
Yeah.
I'll 4-leaf smoke it. I'm going to be like, yeah, whatever. But when you, like, there's such good potential out there, and it just annihilates it.
Like you're getting so excited to harvest some 4 bale an acre cotton, and nope.
Boom.
Well, it's
They're
like,
gone.
there's nothing growing in the county.
Right.
I mean, there's probably 15 circles. There's no dry land, no nothing. And the only hailstorm we get's like a mile by 2 miles, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And my 2 good circles are underneath that. It's just like, go that way. Any direction that could have went, no. And then,
Could have gone over all the dry land where there was nothing on there.
yeah, and just smoked it.
That's terrible.
So then some custom flowers that I had planted, they're right next to that pivot too. New pivot we just put up, and flowers don't like hailstorms, apparently. It's the first time I've ever seen it, and it just looked like a shredder went through there.
Oh.
Out of all this system, did y'all get any rain?
Yeah, we got a little bit.
A little bit. Enough to turn the pivots off?
Yeah.
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 Or a little bit.
Yep. And enough to where we can plant some cover on a couple of other fields. So we lucked out there.
Gotcha. Well, that's always been on what Uber was talking about, if they could just catch a rain and let the wells rest, because
Yeah.
I guess they've been going hard since April
yeah.
and May.
It's been extremely hot. It's some of our cotton, even with the heat that we had and the water we were giving it.
It
was,
just
it was
wasn't-
good water too. The water wasn't making the cotton grow anymore. It was just keeping it just there to where it was surviving. So it was you're just essentially just wasting water.
Right.
It wasn't doing anything.
I think that's when people around here decided to shut down. I think they'd put 3 or 4 inches on it, give or take, after it came up, and it was still.
Well, they didn't
inches tall.
pre-water. It hadn't rained since August, and they're like, let's plant some cotton. And there were some guys that were watering their cotton up, and it would die before the pivot got back around.
Really?
Because they didn't do any pre-watering.
Wow.
I'm like, if you want to collect an insurance check, that sounds like a great idea. But if you're trying to grow a crop, which seems like some of these guys were wanting to try to, it's like
wasn't gonna
you
happen.
should have pre-watered a little bit, at least 3 or 4 inches. No, they just come around, cotton dying, and it's like, well, you might as well leave it on and replant it in a week. So I've never seen cotton die, but it was that dry.
Yikes. That's terrible. Which you guys plant way later out here than we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was talking with Chase, and he was saying y'all Y'all plant. Y'all's deadline is like June 26th or something.
The last day you can insure it, you lose 8% to 28th.
28th.
27th.
27th.
27th. 7 days after.
June 20th is the day that if you want full coverage.
Oh, wow.
Or however you want to say it. But yeah, and then you got the 7 days. But yeah, you can technically plan up till June 27th and still have some. So yeah, it's way later.
Yeah. I've seen Wildcat planted on
I walk at
the 7th or 8th of July.
I put
Make
some in on the 4th.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you couldn't do that out in Seminole, Texas.
No, it's a little higher. I bet you're probably, we all closer to the mountains, and you're probably, 500 feet higher? I think we're at like 3,000 here, I think.
I think we're like 3,400 or something like that.
Yeah. That little bit of difference makes, it's like Lubbock.
That's crazy.
Lubbock's like almost 3 or 4 weeks closer to us than us on a freeze.
Really?
Yeah. So it can get cold here though, like real cold.
I guess I could see that with you got a lot more trees around here. I could see how that could affect it a little bit.
I guess the mesquite trees that are 9 foot tall, you're used to those 2 foot tall mesquite trees.
Yep.
They, I guess they make a difference. I don't know.
Every now and then you'll get that one wild tree that's just super tall, but it's dead.
If it found a crack back in the 1900s and got into the aquifer, and it was the only thing around forever.
Roots go down 200 feet.
Yeah.
One green leaf.
It's got to rain for it to rot, so it's going to sit there forever.
Yep. We have a tree. We just leave it alone. It's like right at the edge of the field. Pivot barely misses it. We've thought about tearing it up, but we're like, nah, it's not in the way, so we'll just leave it.
It's been there longer than we have.
Yep.
Yeah. So on YouTube, how often are you uploading?
I try to minimum once a week, but summer kind of negates that because there's a bunch of boring content in summer. No one wants to watch it anyway, so I get discouraged a lot. But minimum, I try to once a week throughout the spring and fall, like planting and harvest. I try to do maybe 2 times a week, but minimum 1 time a week.
How long? What are you shooting for on the average length of a video?
I shoot for 10 because people's time span or their attention time span is very, very short. Yeah. So I shoot for 10, but a lot of my videos end up being toward closer to the 20s, and I don't really like it. But
see, that's my problem with YouTube. I end up like watching everything we're doing editing, and I'm like, oh no, that has to stay in there by the time we get done with it. It's an hour long.
Yep.
But I have really good retention rates, which apparently is really hard.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. It ain't me for sure. It's not me. It's got to be the content because I'm not that cool. But everybody wants to keep watching. Like when we were out in Dale City with Jay. I mean, the retention rate on that video is like 82% of the time people are staying there watching up to like the end of the video.
Oh wow.
So it's got to be. It ain't me. I promise you that because on TikTok it's like 7 seconds and people are like, no, I don't like this guy anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Out of all the stuff you posted, what seems to be the most liked or most viewed? Like, what do people really want to watch out of everything?
Probably the peanut digging.
The peanut digging, just because it's so different.
That and all the greenery.
All the greenery.
The color green just somehow stimulates the mind, and people just love that color, and it puts people in a happier mood. It's like, oh wow, this pretty colors, and then they just continue watching.
And so you're using, are you hiring out all your peanut harvest, or you got your own peanut?
We got combines? Our own peanut combines. Yep, we've had them for years.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Uber, he told us.
Are they
people keep these things forever?
Oh yeah, the older the better they work. Seems like.
Really?
Well,
it's better made
in our opinion, because there's less sensors, less stuff electrical to go wrong.
It's just to implement it.
Yeah.
Turns.
Like, oh, the combine's vibrating like crazy. What the heck is going on? Oh, I got a bearing out. Let me go walk outside the combine real quick while I leave my whole entire combine running. No sensors beeping, telling me to turn it off. The whole combine's running. You walk outside. Man, I hear the noise from over here. You take a couple of lids off. Oh, yep, there's a broken bearing. You can, with a torch, a couple of pieces of sandpaper, got a new bearing on there. Good to go again.
Dang, wish it was always.
Oh, it's compared to a cotton stripper. Oh, it's easy.
It's easy.
Oh yeah.
That's what I've tried to tell people. It's like I see people from Iowa and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, how hard is a cotton stripper to run?" It's like I can teach a monkey to run a combine, and I've never had a peanut combine, so I don't know how easy those are. But like that new cotton stripper, it's ridiculous how many things you have to know how to run.
Oh yeah.
Like you got to know how to run a hay baler, a cotton stripper, and then you also have to be able to multitask. So if you got any kind of ADD, makes it 10 times harder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Peanut combines, in my opinion, is extremely easy to run because you just got your simple thresher combine. You just turn that sucker on. If you feel any odd vibrations, you know something is wrong.
Something's not running right.
Right.
Can you choke peanut combine down? Like,
The only thing you can ever choke down is your header. If you get like if you have a lot of dirt on your peanuts, or your peanuts are very thick with a lot of vines, you can choke your header up, but you just reverse your header a little bit,
and then it sucks up.
sucks it back in. Or if you have too many peanuts, or you're harvesting too much sand, your peanut elevator can clog, and that's where all the peanuts shoot up into the basket.
It's pretty simple to mess up. Is what you're saying.
Which if you clog your peanut elevator, you walk outside, open a latch, dump the peanuts out, close your latch, walk back inside, and you're good to go.
So, like, compared to choking up a bird extractor.
This takes 20 seconds.
Okay.
This is the simplest thing ever.
Yeah, I know.
It's like replacing the wrap.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
they made that a little harder on the
Did they?
770s. Yeah.
Oh.
Especially till they get like 1,000 wraps on them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bearing. There's 2 bearings you got to turn, and they just, man, you have to like manhandle it to get that wrap roll to change.
Oh.
But once it gets kind of like broken in, they're pretty nice. But you choke that 3 drum up, you're in for a bad day.
I thought they're supposed to make that easier with those
Yeah.
levers.
I thought you could take the bars.
Y'all are reading the hype of John Deere a little too much. Now, the bars do come off. That makes life a lot easier. But you're standing, and there's so many doors got to come off. And the doors that are actually on there, like cover up the pulleys and crap, you think the ones on the CS690 are in the way. No, those ones on the 770, I will chunk them off that machine and never look at them again.
Oh.
Hopefully, the farmer doesn't shred them up, and one of my guys picks them up. I get so pissed off.
Oh.
So, but yeah, you remove the bars, backspin it, turn it on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, and then you got to go clean 2 doffers out. So it gets there.
So what you're saying, don't plug it up.
Yeah, don't plug it up, but you blow your belts off of it every 80 hours. So once a week, you're unchoking it no matter what. Because when the belts shred, what do?
Do you shred those belts quite often?
Yeah, they haven't got it figured out yet.
Oh. Sounds like we need to wait a couple of years before getting one.
Maybe for a couple.
Well, last year you couldn't even get belts. I was running lawnmower belts.
That's what I was just about to ask. How's the supply?
They worked well. The supply is dwindling because I've ordered all of them. There was like 3 in Iowa, and I was like, I want all of them because there's no other machines running right now. So, and I'm like, we've blown through 2 sets of just cleaner drive belts. Went through a set of header drive belts and a cotton fin belt. So yeah, just everything's spinning so fast that it does not care. They just explode, and yeah.
That's rough.
And then you start smelling stuff on fire, and luckily it's not cotton, so I don't care.
Right.
Distinctive smell difference when it's cotton on fire. That's when you get nervous.
Oh yeah, whenever you smell just a little bit of cotton on fire, you're like, crap, where's it?
Yeah.
You start looking all over the place. I can't find it, but what about if it sits there, that thought sits there in the back of your head. Oh, it could be so.
I love when you get, I still have to get off. Landon does it. When you get off to go load wrap, you walk by the muffler and there's been some leaf or some cotton. You walk by and, crap, what's on fire?
Speaking of that, do you want some walk around decks? Because my guy's going to be from Australia here next week, and he's going to be putting them on.
Possibly.
Anybody listening to the podcast, if you want one, come find me on Instagram. I'll sell you a pair.
If you really want to get the blood flowing, you can actually run laps around the baler, so you can really get the blood flowing.
And you can sniff everywhere for fires. But no, the walk around decks make life so much better.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Are y'all running balers?
Yep.
Picker or stripper? Both.
Yeah, got 2 strippers and 3 pickers.
Which do you prefer?
I mainly run the stripper, but I would prefer a picker. It's just so much easier.
Simple.
Now, y'all just picking mostly irrigator, or do y'all pick whatever y'all can get into as long as it's big enough?
We all do just irrigated.
Just all irrigated?
Yeah, we don't have any dry land, so everything.
That's why he rolled up in a 22 Duramax. He ain't got no dry land cotton. But yeah, no, the 770 worth every penny.
Is it?
Yeah, it just they lack parts, and then they've got a few other issues, but nothing that can't be fixed with a wrench and be running in 20, 30 minutes.
Well, we still got those two 690s, so until those cause problems, then we might consider trading them at a.
What year models?
I believe they're both 18s.
Those are the good ones.
That's good.
Yeah.
The 19s were a
Yeah.
nightmare.
If I owned a 2019 CS690 right now, I would trade it tomorrow morning and make it disappear. I hated it. I had 3 of them that year, 319s, and I bet we lost 200 hours on probably each machine from them being down for a week at a time.
Really?
Sometimes. Yeah. I mean, they were
Wow.
just horrible.
We had more warranty calls or PIP. I mean, it was something every week. They call, hey, so we need to come out and adjust this.
No.
We just got a call
Fun
today.
fact, John Deere tried to cut cost on the 2019s.
That's why it would drop bells.
Yeah, they tried to cut costs to try to make a little more profit off of them.
Really?
And that's when 2020s came back. They went back to the old 2018 styles. They remember they used to have like the steel braided hoses that go over the balers, and now they just run hoses.
Yeah.
Like they got rid of all that. They got rid of a couple things like the grease tank. They had to get rid of that. Not the grease tank. Well, it'd be like, remember the green one?
Yeah.
When they came out with the green tank for the water, and that was because John Deere didn't have the right color scheme on them, and marketing actually came out and said, "Hey, y'all need to have more green on here. There's too much yellow." So,
Really?
yeah, that's when everybody got pissed off because they couldn't see how much grease or water they had in their side tanks. So it went back to yellow.
Oh.
They're originally white.
Really?
Yeah, and then marketing got real pissed.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, no, but these new machines, man, I'd get rid of the 690s if you got the chance to.
Well, our 690s didn't have a single issue last year, so.
I'm just saying from a numbers point of view.
Oh.
Wrap cost, turnout, I mean,
Really?
production. I mean, 1770 will do about the work of 1.5 690s.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Are you 8-row or 12-row?
8.
8.
Yeah. We couldn't, we would love a 12-row, but we couldn't do it, not with the way we planned and everything. I don't know. I don't know what's up with it, but none of our rows really match. Like we have a 16-row planter, but you turn around, it's never perfect. It's always off.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to run 16 or 8 or something.
16 or 8, or you'd have to go, I mean,
You got the bump guides on the pickers? So the outside two will move back and forth independently of the other 4?
Well, for the mountain farm, for that farm out there, we never even use row guidance. Or what are you talking about?
No, like some pickers, like they'll have 6-row units, and 2 of the right side one will be on its independent, like row sense, and then the 4 on the left will be driving the machine, and the other 2 will move back and forth to stay on there too. So when you're running like 8-row, you can run.
Oh no, yeah, we don't have that.
That helps out a lot. But
Probably, but we're planning on getting hopefully a 24-row planter, so we'll fix that issue.
yeah,
Oh, that'll be, yeah.
then you can get you a 12-row 40 cotton stripper.
Y'all getting SM Fab to build y'all one of those 24-row bars? Y'all going to go to a drag?
No, we don't need something that big. We don't have dry land pieces to fit something that big.
I got
We
you.
like our 16 rows.
I got you.
Yeah, I know of Olton Welding converting a 32-row 30 right now into a 24-row 40 drag.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm ready to see it. It's not mine, but I'm going to copy the guy if it works the way he says it's going to work. They're having to chop the bar and make it bigger, and I don't believe it's going to work as well as they say it will. But
It's in theory, it sounds like it would work, but if you're
Yeah.
a little bit uneven of a field, and
Yeah.
Well,
It's a long
the thing is,
ways out there.
if you can get a planter on a 24-row to bend in the middle, which is what they're trying to do, so it'll be 2 individual 12-row planters.
right,
So then when you got your 12-row stripper, everything's going to match up because nothing's going to get pinched.
right,
So like when you have your wings like on a 16-row and you go over a terrace and your outside 4 come down and pinch,
Right.
they don't work well.
yeah,
So it might work.
He doesn't have terraces, though.
yeah. We don't have terraces.
Hey, what's that?
What is this terrace?
What is this thing you speak of?
There are these things that they put in the 70s, and everybody put them in because the government was paying for them, and they're worthless, is what they are.
I think they cause more problems now than they do good.
I will take 1,000 mini washes over a river being funneled through the middle of my field.
I think I'd like one huge spot in the middle. If it just all converged and you just do what the guys up north do, just farm around it.
Yep.
So you hit it with a spray rig going Mach 20. You forgot to put your seatbelt on and you hit the top of the cab. That ever happened to you?
Worst thing that's happened is whenever you spray over a field of peanuts or cotton, whenever it's lapping, can't see no valley tracks.
Yeah.
You hit one of those at Mach 20, you're going to be flying through the window. Happened to me last year, except just the right side of the sprayer caught the valley track, and then my boom kind of went a little close to the ground.
I hit one this year. I've got, for some reason, I've got to check to see if I got too much water, but on this one pivot, one tower is always lower than the other. Like, it's just always the deepest rut on the field. And it ends up being right with the rows because they run straight. I hit it with my right tires as it was straight, and it just veered me off to the left so hard. I thought the spray rig was about to flip because I was spraying probably 18 mile an hour, putting out picks, and it was not a fun ride.
Oh, no. That's rough.
That's when you kind of look at it and you're like, well, today's over.
Yep.
Nothing good can happen after this.
Take a deep breath. Like, time to go home.
So you're farming with family?
Yep, that's a full-on family-owned farm with a little bit of extended family in there. A couple of, it's from my cousin.
I thought you were about to say brother-in-laws. I was gonna be like, oh.
No, it's my cousin and then his father-in-law and then another extended family. So that's about as far away it goes. But other than that, it's just my uncles and other cousins.
All irrigated.
Yep.
Well,
or we try to irrigate everything what we have water for.
Quotations irrigated. Yeah. All right. So I guess we're gonna try to get her wrapped up here in a minute. We've been asking everybody, what do you think that one of the bigger issues in agriculture is right now, that you can see from your point of view? Do you have an opinion on that?
I guess a little. Seems like farmers get blamed for everything.
No, never.
And it seems like a lot of newer farmers get discouraged from actually going into the business because they don't realize how much work it actually really is.
Right.
So you see very, very few young farmers actually getting into the farming industry. It's just all older people.
What's it going to look like in 10 years? That's what scares me.
Yep.
There's a lot of acres, and there ain't that many of us.
Right.
We all can't be 30,000 acre farmers.
Right.
I mean, I guess we could, but I
You'd
don't
never
think
be
anybody wants to farm that much.
You'd never be home.
No, you'd never be home, but you can't, 30,000 acres, there's no way you farm one crop. I mean, you would definitely start seeing more, but landlords out here don't want
when they
anything but cotton.
But they don't have a choice anymore. Whatever, like, you're not going to let me rotate. I already got 30,000. I'm going to lose 300. Whatever.
I think you're going to see a lot of marginal land get turned back to just grasses.
Speaking of the disconnect that you were just mentioning, I was reading Lubbock had this it's the Lubbock news station had this big write-up about how much money the economy is going to lose around here in West Texas because there's no cotton crop this year. And the comments, people were just like, I mean, they were calling welfare and all that the usual. And then there was probably 30 comments out of 100 that were saying we should be growing hemp. And I'm like, guys, it did not rain. It does not matter. Like, people just don't understand. Like, okay, hemp sounds like a great idea, but it did not rain. So, like, the people just don't understand. They're like, oh, your cotton crop failed? Grow something else. Like,
it was so hot and dry that the careless weeds were dying.
Yep.
Yeah. Grow.
That's when you know it's dry.
But there's just they're so far away from the farm that they're like, oh, your cotton crop failed. You should be growing something else. And it's like, nothing will grow if it does not rain.
I can even plant wheats, a crop that doesn't really need much water, and it still won't grow.
Yeah, no, big disconnect.
Yeah, that's
most people just think they show up to the store and there's just miraculously going to be all the produce you.
Yeah, they don't know that it actually comes from farmers. They're like, oh, where do you get your groceries? Oh, from store. Where does the store get it? From other stores.
Yeah, it's.
I think we need to do all people in the social media world. We need to do a better job explaining to people where some of the stuff comes from.
Yeah.
But My favorite is the dairy people when they're on like Instagram and TikTok, and they are just ripping on people trying to say that they're treating animals bad and stuff. And I've been to dairies before, and compared to a pasture cow, a dairy cow's got the best life I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of one guy on TikTok specifically. I forgot his name, but literally all of his cows are just living the life. They can eat when they want to. They're just sleeping on some soft sand, and they're just
Go ride a rotary milker.
Yep.
Go on a carousel. There's a girl in there, seems I think Megan, dairy girl, and she just goes after haters like I think it's her pastime. Every time somebody comments something, she's like, comment to the video. I'm like, this has got to get tiring. It's the same comment every time. Like, they're just horrible people. But I think we need to be that aggressive on row crop farming and stuff.
Right.
But who wants to be that guy?
Yeah. Like we're trying to make a living out here, and y'all just making it harder for us.
Be a full-time job.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know that you're cooking a lot of your oil products in the near future is probably going to start shifting to cottonseed oil, and how much more dependent just the common person will be on it. And to them, they'll never know any difference. They just went and bought cooking oil. Most of them don't know the difference between canola oil, corn oil. I mean,
peanut oil.
Yeah, it's just oil to them.
Yep.
So
slap you a GMO-free sticker on it and sell it to everybody.
Yep. That's how it works.
You might be GMO slap sticker, but it'd still sell to 50% more people.
You could just copy that sticker and put GMO on it, almost like the non-GMO, and just put like some little squiggly. People wouldn't even know the difference.
This one has GMO.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah, no, that's a pretty big issue, but I mean, I think it's going to get worse because we're getting farther and farther away from the farm every year, and it'll either work out or we won't care anymore. And not everybody has to wear clothes, I guess,
right.
So I don't have to be a cotton farmer.
That and, where does the water go in the future too? That's always a thing
that's
to talk
a big.
about.
What happens to West Texas when the water disappears?
Yeah,
I
don't want to think about that.
As my great uncle would say, they will fence this place back off like they used to. He said that in the 90s. I remember when I was a kid hearing that, and he was about 90 when he said that. And they're going to start fencing it back off and let the cows graze it all because there's going to be no water to farm it. He's like, well, I hope not. But
neither.
I'm throwing up pivots right now and just draining the aquifer. But ours is replenishing. You're not on a replenishing aquifer, are you?
I don't think so, no. Doesn't feel like it.
Doesn't feel like it.
No matter what you do, it feels like it goes away every year.
They never quite turn back on like they did 2 or 3 years before.
I feel like we need a nice earthquake and replenish our aquifer a little bit.
Something.
Somebody's going to figure out something in the near future of how to somehow replenish it in some, non-environmentally friendly way, and it'll.
I've seen proposals of bringing like the red, like further down in East Texas, to bring the red and tunnel it back up here and pump it into lakes and use this where we can buy irrigation water basically the same price as what we're pumping it.
Or the Brazos when it gets out of the banks. But
have you ever been in New Orleans, in Louisiana?
Nope.
If you ever seen the Mississippi River, how much fresh water goes into the Gulf of Mexico, you're like, we don't have a freshwater problem. We have a problem where the fresh water is.
Yeah.
There's so much water there that they could easily take care of West Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, all that, and it would not be an issue. But the problem is you got to get it up there.
Well, if our water runs out here, we'll just continue moving down to even more West Texas.
Yeah, I've got a customer in Arkansas. And he was showing me that he's got I think there was 7 pivots. They're like 3/4 mile pivots, and they're like 5 miles long. And he's like, the left side's my dad's. If you go across the channel, it's like a big irrigation canal. My dad's on the right side. You got to strip both sides of this. My dad's on 30s, and I'm on 38s. And I was like, well, that's great. And we'll have to switch headers. That's fun. And I was like, this is too good to be true. I go down there, and it's just straight pivots, water in the middle. He's got one irrigation motor on the left side, like 8 or 9 pivots. And on the right side of the channel, they got 8 or 9 pivots on one irrigation motor. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, you have no idea how good you got it. And like, oh, you want to turn those pivots on? Get on your phone, turn all of them on, turn the water on, start a diesel motor, and you're done.
Yep, that's. I guess you can say we
I'm
kind of
jealous.
have both sides of that.
Yeah.
I guess.
I tell the wife, I'm like, I will sell everything here. If I find a farm with it's on some irrigation like that, and just you don't have to pump it from 2 feet up, basically just pressurize it.
Mm-hmm.
I will sell everything in West Texas and be so far gone, y'all will forget I was ever here.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, but they got other problems. It rains too much there.
Oh darn, it rains too much.
What's that?
Must suck to have too much rain. What will I ever do?
I got a picture from him the other day, and it's shedding. I mean, it is bad. It's shedding. It rained too much, and I was just sitting there going, I really wish I could send this to any of my friends. But yo, it rained too much. I'm shedding all my cotton squares off. It's like, this has got to be a bad problem to have. But
Yeah.
now they deal with more problems than when you have that much water. You have bug problems.
Yeah,
But
we get a lot of bug problems.
Their problems
Yeah,
are
pretty much.
solvable.
That's true.
Our problems are not.
Exactly.
When you don't have a solvable problem, you just feel helpless.
Yep.
And
And you mix those unsolvable problems with solvable problems, and you got both problems.
yeah, probably why it's still very religious out in West Texas.
Yep.
The only thing you have left is faith, man. You can't go down to Nutrient and say, "Hey, I need some water to fall from the sky." You can't buy that. So, anyways, all right. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up unless there's something we didn't touch on that you wanted to touch on.
I feel like on topics like this, you could talk for hours.
Oh, you can talk for hours.
We don't
you,
care.
You had a fourth person in on it. It just turns into a coffee shop.
Hey, you should have brought Chase.
I should have.
Yeah. He's going to be listening to it in a few weeks and be like, I had nothing else going. You know, it's been raining. The kids are at school, I think. Maybe one
Yeah,
of
I
them.
think so.
How old are
So-
his baby? Yeah, they're all in school. I don't know. I don't pay that much attention.
But
But yeah, he was just, when I got there, he was just chilling at his shop, not doing anything. I think he said his father-in-law was out of town, so he was the only one on the farm, and he was just sitting there doing nothing.
There's nothing to do. Like this soil around here, like everywhere I go, I mean, I'm all over the place. It rains, and like a day later, you're like, oh, I can walk on this. Oh, that pivot where I was checking where that hail damage was, it rained like 3 inches out there, and I stuck my foot in just this like 1/4 inch deal of dry dirt on top, and I thought, boom, milk slushy all in my shoes and everything. And my shoe got stuck coming off, and I'm like, when it does rain, it gets real wet around here. It's a little different because that soil
Yeah.
just doesn't. It takes up the water easier than where it rains all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
the only thing I'd say is people listening, check out your YouTube channel.
I'm making somewhat of a following on there, so progress.
follow him on TikTok because apparently he struggles with that.
There's like 10 videos on there.
That could be-
Well, I made one that I thought was kind of funny, but that was just kind of me goofing off. But
And those are usually the ones that go big. The ones that
Yeah.
you don't even think.
I
are gonna
used to
be.
post some real controversial stuff, like types of strippers I've ran and like being smart aleck, and then it'd be a picture of a girl on a stripper pole, like for a 1/4 of a second. But I'm like, man, they will ban you for stuff like that these days. So all I post is farming stuff.
well, I don't know if you saw that one that I posted. I was pretending to put a bunny in the refrigerator. So
Well, as long as they could tell you're pretending, I think you're okay.
I don't even know if they like pretending now.
they better they better hope I was faking it, because there was no way I was about to put a bunny in a freezer.
Well, it's like I've had the helicopter hog hunting page up to 300,000 followers on TikTok twice.
Oh wow.
And I'll just wake up one morning and PETA will find it, and they will just mass report each video.
Wow.
Like, they'll be in like a Facebook group or something, I guess. They have to, and each video will be mass reported. Boom, count gone. TikTok don't care. They won't talk to you. And like I'm very specific on what I post. Like make sure there's no animals getting shot. It's just helicopters, and we're walking around the field with thermals and stuff like that. But they will mass ban you. Gone. Count's gone.
That's terrible.
And if nothing, some of those videos you work to make, and it takes a while. And it's like people just they don't like your way of life, and gone.
I mean,
There.
sometimes you don't even know this, but hogs, they can actually be Like they can damage your crop like crazy.
Oh, tell us.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us, man. You don't.
I was talking to
No.
Chase, and he said that sometimes you can lose 30% of your corn crop.
Oh, well, so we'd planted some lake corn down here. Been pre-watering. I guess probably the only pivot running within 2 or 3 miles.
You had a giant flag that said "food here."
Well, I'd planted like 24 rows on the outside, getting it all set the night before. I was going to plant it the next morning. Show up the next morning and start planting. I look over, I'm like, I know I didn't have that many Schlegels locked up. I started looking and looking. It was, they'd picked 24 rows clean.
Wow.
Probably a quarter mile passes. One end to the other.
There's a video of how many pigs we have.
That's
That's China Grove, man.
I'll bring my AR next time.
dang. They're not just a problem out here.
Yeah, we've got them.
They're
They're
horrible.
pretty bad where Tyler farms over here in Sea City, and then where I come, I'm east of here. They're pretty bad, but I have some about 1,000 acres north of here. Dude, it is insane what these pigs. If it wasn't wet, I'd go show you in how bad it can get. You can't even drive a spray rig through it at 4 miles an
Really?
hour. No,
It's like somebody took grenades
Wow.
and just dropped them in the field, and it's just
3 foot deep holes, 4 foot round, just. And they'll be out there in the middle of the night just digging. All you see is through the thermals. All you see is like the backs of them. And they'll stick their head up about every 30 seconds, look around.
you'll see dirt fly.
That's terrible.
And we can't use a thermal drone here because a lot of my buddies in Louisiana are using thermal drones and pushing them towards them. And some of these pigs are smart. Like they know they've already got their escape route planned, and they're not even out there doing anything. They're just out there to destroy your crap. And they don't care. Like these fields got a lot of terraces, and it's like 160 acres with like 16, 17 terraces. What they do is all that water sifts under the ground and it gets into those terrace channels. So they like that coolness. So they'll just plow up every terrace channel. And when I mean plow up, like a moldboard that tripped probably every other shank, and you just had random crap going on, and you had an employee who had no idea what was going on, and it just hills, mounds, holes, trees.
That's
They
terrible.
do not care.
Do y'all have pigs?
We don't have pigs. The only other problem we had was rabbits.
Rabbits?
Yep.
Peanuts?
No, rabbits ate 120 acres of cotton.
That sounds like a fun problem to solve. Thermals at night.
Golly. That's going to be a lot of rabbits.
Not even that. We just had a bunch of shotguns and went to town, shot 1,300 plus in one night. Good to go.
PETA's going to hear this, and they're going to be trying to ban it.
That is a lot of rabbits.
Are y'all having the rabbit competitions?
Nope. No, this was quite a few years ago, but we don't have a rabbit problem anymore.
Yeah.
They ran away. They noticed that we didn't like them on our field, so they all ran away and they stopped.
I'm sure they ran away real fast.
Oh yeah.
God, that's
In Garden City, they were having rabbit competitions. Like the big cat competitions. They were having rabbit competitions. Like biggest jackrabbit, biggest cottontail, and like most cottontails in one night. And like 4-man crews of just shotguns and spotlights.
Oh yeah. I think they do a couple of rabbit competitions in my area, but they only do like I think one once a year or something like that.
If you could give me the acres, I will show up fully armed to the teeth like Rambo. Just are y'all using shotguns or using rifles?
We were using shotguns.
at that rate.
8 shot.
Just wherever it went, just
Yep.
Pick them up or just
we left them there.
oh man, but the coyotes had a field day.
They don't even care.
the coyotes are so full. They don't
Oh
care.
yeah, because
They're skinny. They don't even eat the rabbits.
they don't want rabbits no more.
No.
Why are the coyotes skinny? They just don't like them.
I have no idea, but the coyotes never eat them.
Unless there was something especially wrong with those rabbits.
Maybe I have a disease or something. So doing the world a favor.
1,300 rabbits in one night. Your shoulder hurt?
Mine did. My buddies did. Closer towards the end, about an hour before we quit, he was like, "I'm done, bro.
can't do
I'm
this."
done. My shoulder's tired, killing me." And I was like, "All right, fine. I'll continue." I was in the Razor or Pioneer. I was driving and shooting at the same time. One hand on a gun, the other hand steering. Half the time my knee was steering. Fun times.
When we
That
get
does sound
customers
like a
that
fun
want to
time.
shoot the shotgun up in the helicopter, and it's usually like somebody who's a little bit afraid of an AR-15 or something, and it's usually somebody who's smaller, and they're like, "Here's double-aught buck, 8 rounds in this gun, start shooting," and they'll go through 300 rounds of double-aught buck in an hour, dude. Like your shoulder will be just a gigantic bruise. That's what she shoots out of a helicopter, and I'm like, I try to tell people don't do it, and then they'll be like crying for the rest of the day. It hurts.
I've never had that issue. I love shotguns, so.
Well, shoot you some double-aught buck. Go shoot 300 rounds in an hour.
300 rounds, that would do it.
That would. But
you should see the pile that we had after that night. We
having technical difficulties? Okay. Everybody on YouTube, you can the camera moving, that's not our fault. Oh, it's dead. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, at that note,
we're gonna wrap it up, people, because we had a camera die. So
well, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
I guess coming out here, do it again.
Change the scenery.
Yeah, a lot more trees.
A lot more trees.
Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. All right. We'll see y'all. Bye.
I mean, he's got a point.